When we pause for a moment and look closely at our own lives, something interesting happens. We begin to realize that we're not just living, we're reacting, absorbing, carrying, and sometimes even surviving moments we never really processed. Sometimes we don't even notice how much weight we've placed on our own shoulders until we feel them shake. We forget that the mind is not a machine, it's a world. A world full of memories, fears, illusions, dreams, and possibilities. And each of us, knowingly or unknowingly, walks through life trying to hold that world together. There are days when it feels easy, as if the lightness inside us matches the rhythm of everything around us. And then there are days when simply getting out of bed feels like a small war we fight alone. We may appear calm to people on the outside, but inside, something trembles. A thought, a wound, a memory, a fear about tomorrow, a guilt from yesterday, a worry about someone we love. The truth is, our mind remembers everything, especially the things we try to ignore. It whispers them back to us in the quiet moments, in the late nights, in the gaps between conversations. We often think we're alone in this, but we're not. Every person sitting in this room, every person listening, each one is carrying something. And yet somehow we keep walking. Not because life becomes easier, but because the human heart has a remarkable ability to adapt, to repair, to start again even after being broken. And this is why understanding ourselves is one of the most powerful gifts we can give to our own life. When we experience stress or fear, our body reacts before we even understand what's happening. It's like an ancient alarm system built into us, a biological memory of our ancestors who needed to survive danger. Our body still works that way, even though the tigers we face today are not animals. They're deadlines, expectations, disappointments, heartbreaks, financial pressures, unanswered messages, unresolved conversations. We live in a world where our mind is on high alert all day long. And when this happens, something inside us disconnects from peace. We stop breathing deeply. We stop sleeping well. We stop listening to ourselves. We move through our own days like strangers inside our own skin. And then something else happens. Our thoughts become louder than our reality. Has it ever happened to you that you imagined something would go wrong, and it actually didn't, but the stress you felt before it even happened drained you entirely? That's because the brain doesn't distinguish between what we imagine and what we experience. If you imagine a fear vividly enough, your body reacts as if it is happening. So many of us live imprisoned, not by what life is, but by what we fear it might become. But here's the beautiful part. The brain also works the other way. When you imagine hope, calm, gratitude, when you visualize a possibility, when you choose to focus on something meaningful, your body, your emotions, your energy, your motivation, they all shift. You begin to experience life in a different way. Nothing outside you has changed, but everything inside you has. And this is one of the most powerful truths we can embrace. The world we experience is shaped not by the world itself, but by the lens through which we see it. Many people walk through life believing they are broken, when in reality they are simply overwhelmed. Many believe they are weak, when in truth they have been strong for too long, without rest, without support, without silence. Many think they are lost, when they are simply in the process of becoming. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you are supposed to be to learn what your soul came here to learn. Sometimes life slows us down on purpose, not to punish us, but to redirect us. It brings us discomfort, so we question what we've been ignoring. It brings us pain, so we stop accepting the things that hurt us. It brings us people who test us, so we learn to set boundaries. It brings us uncertainty, so we learn faith. Everything you have lived was preparing you for something, you simply didn't know it yet. So many of us are terrified of pausing. We feel guilty when we rest, as if our value depends on our productivity, but moments of silence are not a luxury. They are medicine. When the mind is always running, it cannot heal. When we never stop, we cannot hear the answers that are already inside us. There is a moment, a very delicate moment, when you realize that healing isn't about deleting your past. It's about meeting yourself again with compassion. It's about saying, I understand why you reacted that way. I understand why you were scared. I understand why you closed yourself. I understand why you held on to things you should have released. And I forgive you. Healing happens when the fight inside us softens. Forgiveness is not about forgetting. It is about freeing your heart from the weight of the story you no longer need to carry. Some of us are holding on to pain that no longer belongs in our present. We treat it like a friend because it's familiar. But there comes a moment when you must choose. Remain loyal to your wounds, or remain loyal to your future. One of the most profound truths about the human mind is that it grows when it feels safe. Safety is not silence. Safety is connection. Safety is presence. Safety is a feeling of being seen without judgment. That's why the people who love us well, not perfectly, but sincerely, can change our emotional biology. A single conversation with someone who listens can calm the whole nervous system. A moment of kindness can reroute an entire belief about yourself. But there is someone else you need to treat with this same kindness, and that is you. The way you speak to yourself, especially when no one is watching, builds your internal world. If your inner voice is harsh, the world feels harsh. If your inner voice is compassionate, the world softens. You do not become better by punishing yourself. You become better by understanding yourself. Let me tell you something deeply important. Your brain learns from repetition, not perfection. Every small choice you make to breathe, to pause, to respond calmly, to say no when something hurts you, to rest when you're tired, to ask for help, these choices reshape your emotional landscape. You don't need to change your whole life in one day. You only need to begin. Sometimes the biggest transformations begin in the smallest moments. A moment when you decide, I am done living the way I've been living. A moment when you look at your fear and say, you don't control me anymore. A moment when you choose peace over chaos, clarity over confusion, self-respect over approval, presence over distraction. Life is constantly asking us one question. What do you want to grow inside yourself? Fear or courage? Anger or forgiveness? Doubt or faith? Since the brain strengthens what we repeat, your attention becomes your power. Whatever you feed, grows. Whatever you starve, fades. That is why being truly conscious changes everything. And no matter where you are in your journey, whether you feel strong right now or fragile, clear or confused, hopeful or exhausted, there is something inside you that knows how to begin again. Something that refuses to give up even when no one sees the effort you're making. Something quiet, but persistent. Something ancient, something wise. That is the part of you that has kept you alive through every difficult moment. That is the part of you that deserves to be listened to. Maybe you don't need a perfect plan right now. Maybe you don't need all the answers. Maybe all you need is one deep breath and the decision to trust the next step. Not the whole path, just the next step. Because when you take one honest step toward yourself, life somehow places the next stone in front of you. You are not here by accident. You are not listening to these words by coincidence. Some part of you is ready. Ready to release the weight. Ready to open. Ready to remember your strength. Ready to walk into the life that's been waiting for you. And when that moment comes, when something inside you shifts, even slightly, you will feel it. A quiet softening. A sense of returning home. A small but unmistakable feeling that says, this is who I really am, and that is the beginning of everything. And the greatest transformation in life begins the moment you choose to stop surviving your story and start living your truth.